Hey guys, it's Mike here again with Team Viper Paranormal, and today we're going to be doing a review of the natural Trifield EMF meter and its applications for paranormal investigation. Now before you run out and buy one of these, there are some things you need to know. First off, there are actually two different models of the Trifield natural meter. You have Model 1 and Model 2. Now this one is Model 1, and Model 1 is probably the best for paranormal investigation. On Model 2, you've got an external jack to where you can plug this into the wall, and you have an external spot where you can plug in a coil and use that to pick up your EMF as well. Now there's a big price difference between Model 1 and Model 2. Model number 2, you're looking at well over $200. Model 1, you can pick these up anywhere between $150 $160 if you shop around. Now they each have the same features for the most part. You've got your off switch, you've got your very first one, which is a battery test that shows you how much energy you have left on your battery. The next one is magnetic. The third one is sum, which is the sum of the magnetic and electric. The next one is electric, and then the last one is radio and microwave. The biggest difference between the Model 1 and Model 2 is the sum feature, which is right here. Now, on the Model 1, the sum is the sum of the magnetic and the electric, and those are the types of fields we're looking for. On the Model 2, the sum is a little bit different. It's the radio and either the magnetic or electric. I can't quite remember offhand, but Model number 1 is what you want to use for paranormal investigation, and it's a lot cheaper, and that's always great too. Unlike your standard digital or analog EMF meters that measure single axis, which is one axis, this measures 3 axes, so this measures in 3 different directions. Also, the thing that sets this apart from most of the EMF meters under $200 is the fact that this measures DC fields and not AC fields. This has specifically been designed to ignore all of those man-made AC currents you may have around your home. Now there are some theories out there that suggest spirits or ghosts are able to manipulate or increase the amount of electromagnetic field in an area, which does make a little bit of sense to me, but most of these meters that we're using are picking up AC fields. Now, humans are made up of DC fields, so it would make more sense to me that if a ghost were made up of some of the energy that we are, they would be made up of a DC field as well. And that's what's great about this meter, because this picks up on the DC fields and not the AC fields like the other meters do. Well, with all that being said, let's take a closer look at this meter, and I'm going to show you exactly what it's capable of. Down here at the bottom, you have your dial, which is going to allow you to select through your different features what types of EMF you want to be picking up, whether it's radio, microwave, electric, or magnetic. And here on the side, it's got a little dial here, which is really cool. It uses different tones. Now, what's great about this meter, not only does this show you when there is an increase in a magnetic or electric static EMF field, it also shows you when there is a change. And using this tone dial on the side, you can set that to operate, and it will change as the field increases or decreases. This is unlike any other EMF meter that we use for paranormal investigation. Now let's look at some of the pros and cons. First, we're going to start with the cons. The size of the meter is very big. This is 2 to 3 times the size of your average EMF meter, so if you're looking for something small, this meter isn't for you. It's quite bulky, and it's probably the only piece you're going to be able to carry in your hand, so keep that in mind before purchasing one of these. Also, there's no backlight here. You can't see what you're doing in the dark, so you will need a flashlight. Now, I believe there are some that are modified with a light here, but the standard one does not have that. Fortunately, you do have the audio on the side that you can use when it's dark. And third, probably the worst of this entire meter, is using this on sum and trying to walk around with it. With the sum, you're measuring the sum of the magnetic and the electric DC fields, and it's actually picking us up. So when we're walking around with it, it's going to be very, very sensitive and almost impossible to use. You would have a better chance of Zach Bagans validating some spirit dust than you would walking around with this EMF meter on sum. Now let's look at some of the pros. There's so many, I don't know where to begin. First off, you have multiple features on this. Unlike the other EMF meters where you've got your on and your on button, on this you've got your battery test. You can see how much battery power you have left, your magnetic, your sum, your electric, and your radio and microwave. And these are all picking up DC currents and that's great, especially for paranormal investigation. When you're using the sum feature, you're picking up magnetic and electric, so this can actually double as a motion sensor. If something walks into the room that's made up of any type of DC energy, this thing's going to pick it up. As I said earlier, the AC feature is completely disabled in this. This will not pick up man-made sources, so it is perfect for paranormal investigation for that reason alone. Also, compared to the other meters, this is very, very, very accurate. You're probably going to get the most accurate reading using the Trifield natural meter. Now here's a few tips. First off, this is not my top choice for doing EMF sweeps because the meter is very sensitive. So I suggest using these stationary, set them down on the table, set them down on the ground. If you do want to use these walking around, there is a way to do it. Most EMF meters, if you move them, the needle's going to jump or the numbers are going to increase. There's just no way to avoid that. And this is 10 times as bad. But if you find out where your north is and you walk in a straight line from north to south and you're doing sweeps that way, the needle's hardly going to move at all. So that's just a couple tips for actually using this meter out in the field. Sometimes people ask me what the best EMF meter to use on a paranormal investigation is, and I always tell them the Trifield natural meter. This is the only DC EMF meter with all these features that you can pick up for under $200. So I do recommend using this. Like I said earlier, you can get this from anywhere between $150 to $160. If you're paying more than that, then you're paying too much. Shop around, you can find it somewhere a little bit cheaper. Well guys, there you have it, a review of the Trifield natural meter. I want to thank you for watching our videos. Make sure to stop by our website, www.viperparanormal.com. Please comment, rate, and if you're looking for more Ghost Hunting 101 tutorials, equipment reviews, how to debunk, and overall how to be a paranormal investigator, make sure to subscribe.